Greetings everyone, my name is Eterville and welcome back to my Let's Play of Mega Man Unlimited. In the last part, I defeated Trinitro Man and Tank Man. And now it's time to go after the last two Robot Masters, starting with Nail Man. And for good reason, as Jetman is personally one of the toughest Robot Masters to fight. But we'll get there in about 10 minutes. The first enemy we face in Nailman stage are these cross nailers, and the Metroises that we saw in Glueman stage. The cross nailers, the main method of attack is that they fire nails either diagonally or in a plus pattern. They switch between firing diagonally or in plus areas. To destroy them, basically just shoot at them 3 times or a few times and avoid getting hit by their nails. These Met enemies seen here are Met Jacks. These Mets are wielding jackhammers, and while they drill into the ground, they'll release all these rocks. So make sure to avoid the debris, though it's kind of difficult at times. And here we have a reference to Gutsman stage, though this time the platforms are vertical. Just like in Gutsman stage, these platforms will open up once it reaches those open areas. Although, unlike Gutsman stage, it's much easier here, as there are not that many holes in the platforms. In order to get these bolts, you either need to have the Comet Dash, or you need to have Rush Jet. Really though, this first section with the vertical conveyor belts or moving platforms isn't too bad. In fact, I really wish the programmers or the developers did more with this. Kind of sloppy here. But really though, those Met Jacks are really annoying to take care of, especially due to how the debris is semi-randomized. I say semi-randomized as you can roughly tell where it'll go, but after that it's a little bit difficult to dodge them. And the fact is we don't actually have a guided weapon yet. Well, we do have Jetman, but we don't have his weapon yet. To get this mini tank, you have to have Tank Man's weapon. You may be able to destroy that wall using the Nitro Blast, but I'm not sure if you can hit it from that far away. Also, nice use of the yo-yo cutter here. Makes it really easy to take care of these toadies. Funny enough, these sections of the stage will be much easier if we actually have Nailman's weapon. But really though, even with all the damage I'm taking and all the enemies here, Nailman's stage is one of the relatively simplest to go through. In fact, his weapon is Nailman's weapon is one of the most useful to have out of the bunch, as it's used in so many different situations. Right, here's the mini-boss of this stage, Hammerman. Hammerman fires a set of 3 hammers, like the Hammer Brothers in Super Mario, and then he'll eventually jump over you and hit the ground, which creates a shockwave. And after he does that, he'll knock his hammerhead down, which will fire a shockwave at you, which I failed to dodge. Funny enough, Hammerman used to be a Robot Master for this game, if you looked at Megaphil X's earlier videos. But he was switched out with Comet Woman, mainly due to maybe redundancy and whatnot. I still find it funny that we have hammered nails. And those soft holes still make their return. There's an exhibition of the Rainbow Beam, though it has issues with rapidly defeating enemies. But really, going back to the point of the stage, this stage is relatively straightforward and not too difficult to get through, though compared to all the other stages, this is the longest in terms of stage length. But yeah, I say it's the longest, but if I ever get to Mega Man Revolution, oh boy, we'll see what long is. Anyway, these platforms here are called spike platforms. They'll alternate between firing vertically and horizontally. So basically just time your jumps so that you are able to jump on them when they're not showing where they'll be firing in the same direction you are. So when it's vertical, go horizontal. If it's horizontal, do it vertical. And yeah, and to get that weapon energy over there, we actually need to get a weapon from one of the extra robot masters, because we need something to be able to grab between platforms or in stage obstacles. Which is kind of odd why it's placed here, as we won't be able to actually get to that robot master until we defeat 4. Actually, to be fair, we could get there if we defeat 4 robot masters, but I doubt it. And yeah, water physics are here again. Also, funny enough, if you look at the extra section of Megaphil X's site, this stage originally did not have water. So, nice fun fact. You could take the challenging route and go jump on these spike platforms on the right, or you could just use the rush coil and skip all of that. Of course, I kind of fail here and get hit by one of those nails. But really though, this level can be trivialized pretty easily, or made much more easy by using certain weapons. Mainly Nailman's weapon, the Comet Dash, and the rush coil. And the rush jet if you have it. Like in these sections. Yeah. I like the clever usage of the platforming here, as if you stand too long on the vertical platform, you will fall into spikes. Really close call over here by using a rush coil. And yeah, those crushers return. Also, an interesting fact I forgot to mention in the last 3 parts of this LP. But if you look at the Dr. Wily symbol right at the beginning of each of the Robot Masters, which was originated from previous Mega Man games, you'll notice that it's completely broken, which is fitting really, as Dr. Wily's robots have gone into a rampage and now are betraying him, so makes sense. And to summarize his description, Nailman is a construction robot who is in competition with Hammerman, but Nailman became a robot master and he had superior intelligence. The good point is that he's intelligent, bad point is that he's hard-headed, he likes solving problems, but dislikes Hammerman. Alright, here's Nailman. Nailman is the shield user of the 8 Robot Masters. And yeah, it's kind of a slow fight. Not as slow as Schoolman though. He creates a shield, and in between that he fires a rain of nails. And after that, you can do one of 2 things, or 3 things. He can create he can fire off that barrage of nails at you, one at a time, or can fire them all at once. Or he can do this, where he separates his head off, and then tries to align himself horizontally to you, and then stab you with his own head. Just duck under it, or slide under it, to be precise. And when he fires that rain of nails, 1 nail will be left up, so yeah, be cautious of that. But really though, once you get the hang of dodging him, he's very easy to take care of, and he's pretty slow with his shield. As shown here, you can get 3 or 4 shots in per cycle. And even most of his attacks, minus probably the 1x1 nail barrage, is pretty easy to dodge. I mean, look at this, there's enough time to telegraph where he is. And he's down. I would suggest he's one of the Robot Masters you take on first or second, especially due to both his special weapon accrued and the rush utility gained. Though it's one of the longest stages. But it's counterbalanced by the fact that it's easy enough. And by defeating Nailman, we got the Nail Shield and the Rush Jet. Yep, and the Rush Jet utility is very useful in several situations, though I wouldn't say it's as good as Mega Man 3, but in some regard it is broken, especially in Jetman stage or ones with a lot of bottomless pits. And shown over there in the description, the Nail Shield is technically a mix between the Junk Shield, as it protects Mega Man completely, and the Blizzard attack from Mega Man 6, when the nails are fired off in the barrage. Here's Jetman stage. Those enemies rushing toward me with those luggage pieces are called Mr. Shinri, or to be more specifically Mr. Newcomer, as they rush in pretty fast. If you don't destroy them fast enough, they'll drop their bags, which are full of pippies. Though, like with pippies from before, if you can destroy as many of them in one time as possible, there's a high chance you'll get a lot of power-ups, which makes it wonderful for filling your weapon or life energy, especially when using the Comet Dash, as you can plow through many of them at once. But really, the hardest part of the stage aren't them. It's the combination of those Arrups, aka these platforms coming up from those bottomless pits, and the bomb attackers and missile attackers. The bomb attackers being the purple ships, and the missile attackers being the red ones. The bomb attackers drop a series of 3 or 4 bombs horizontally. Be careful about the explosive radius. And the missile attacker fires first a missile at Mega Man's horizontal position, which can be destroyed in one hit, and once the missile attacker passes Mega Man, it'll fire another one at opposite position. So it's kind of annoying to take care of, especially when over a bottomless pit, as it could really easily shunt you off the pit if you don't time it correctly. Here are some shield attackers, and over here is a split pathway. To access this alternate path, you need to use either the tank arsenal or the nitro blast. And this is the harder path, but we needed to get the Y letter. And here's where the bomb attackers get really dangerous, as not only the bombs are dangerous, it's also the fact that they have a large radius. These platforms I'm standing on are called command-powered platforms. Basically, they go in the reverse direction that Mega Man is running. The main danger here is that because of these bomb attackers dropping bombs, you can get shunted off these platforms and into the spikes really easily. And in this section especially, you can easily jump into the spike. So my plans for here and why I went to Nailman's stage first, is to use the nail shield. It'll become much more useful in the next section, as the nail shield can absorb 4 of these bombs at once, which makes it extremely useful. Now, I could have used the rush jet on the opposite side, and then traveled to the left and skipped running on this man-powered platform, but especially due to these bomb attackers knocking me over so many times, I decided to take this path, as it's much safer. And the nail shield is really useful for the upcoming sections to come, as it can just one-hit kill all the Arrups, as well as those bomb attackers. Here's a red guardian, annoying as usual. Funny enough, the nail shield can actually pierce through their armor, which makes sense really, as they're armor-piercing nails. Here's where the paths meet up. I'll be showing off the normal pathway in the next part. And easy to leave tanks. And here's where the sections start to get really difficult. Here I strongly suggest having the nail shield, or at least the Comet Dash, especially as you can be easily nicked or hit into a pit by either these Arrups, the missile attackers, or the bomb attackers. But once you get the hang of it, it isn't too bad. Overall though, in comparison to the other stages, I would say Jetman's stage is one of the hardest to go through, and both for the stage and the boss. But we'll get into Jetman himself soon. Oh yes, we will. Just take your time and be careful. And I strongly suggest having the nail shield. Anyways, time for Jetman's description. Jetman commands Wily's area. He is built for speed, both in the air and on the ground. He respects his adversaries and in return has earned the respect of his troops. His jet missiles travel extremely fast and very few of their victims have managed to dodge them. Good point is that he's honorable, bad point is that he's impetuous. He likes Comet Woman and dislikes Tank Men, due to their conflicting strategies and respect for their soldiers. It's interesting really, those enemies that I was facing earlier are called forklifts, or forklifts. But they drop luggage bombs after a certain interval, which split into 2 mini luggage bombs, but I quickly destroyed them with the nitro blast, as they're really annoying to take care of. Anyways, time to move on to Jetman himself. Ugh, that took a lot of parts. The main difficulty with Jetman is that he's semi-random in one sense. The issue with Jetman himself is that the combination of the bomb dropping attack he has here, and the precision you need for dodging him. Mainly when he rushes in or rushes out, you have to jump just over him so you don't get nicked by his wings or body. The attack I had the most trouble dodging is not the jet missile, it's when he rushes over from the top part of the screen and releases all these bombs. The problem I have is dodging the explosive radius. When he flies off the screen, in one part of the screen, and when he's above, he'll fly in the opposite direction. I immediately decide to slide to the same direction as he's coming from, or the opposite direction, as I'm worried he'll either ram into me, fire a jet missile, or lock onto me, or worse, drop all these barrage of bombs. Which is why I was forced to use an E-tank here, as I really didn't want to die. Dodging a jet missile here when he's on the ground isn't too bad. Just make sure to slide in the opposite direction or jump over it. As long as you can learn how to jump over him in a precise manner, he isn't too bad. Just make sure to slide in the opposite direction he's reaching on the screen. Or the same direction, to be fair. If he's on the top part of the screen with the left, slide left. If he's on the right, go right. This attack where he locks on isn't bad either, just time problem. And Jetman's down. This took a lot of tries to perfect correctly, so I strongly suggest not going after Jetman first. Or I would actually suggest going after him in the mid or last. As his weapon is... well, it's useful, but it's not really that powerful enough for my tastes. Go with his weakness, what I'm saying. And by defeating him, we got the jet missile. If we fire it normally, it fires straight ahead, in whatever direction Mega Man's pointing to, and if you charge it, it locks onto the nearest target. Pretty handy. And by defeating all 8 Robot Masters, we get this cutscene. It's a transmission from Proto Man. Apparently Proto Man is working behind the scenes, once again, and has located Wily's castle. And apparently the place is completely wrecked, most likely due to Wily's virus going the virus that was going rampant. I keep saying Wily's virus due to Mega Man 10. Oh, he thinks he knows where it is. But suddenly... uh-oh, apparently Proto Man has gone missing. Well, I guess we know where we're going on next. The fortress stages. But before that, we have several things to take care of, first of all. Surprise! Like the extra boss shown here. So yeah, in the next part, I'll be showing off the extra pathway in Jetman, collect the extra E-tank in Comet Woman stage, as well as showing off a few other things. Then go after him. Thanks for watching and have a nice day! Doodles!